Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. I'm back here with another Facebook Live for Talkin and Grubbin. Sorry I haven't been doing Facebook Live these last couple of weeks. I've been busy with these live streams, also doing new videos. If you come in on the chat, please press 1 if you watch it live. If you watch the replays, please press 2. If you haven't already, like the Talkin and Grubbin Facebook page. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any new videos from me. It's like that be sweating, y'all. All right. So how's everybody's Tuesday going? Hope it's all good. My day's been good so far. So now I want to get into these NBA playoffs. Man, this second round has been exciting. Matter of fact, it's been the best playoffs that we've had in a long time. Finally get to see some competition. You know, 3 out of the 4 series is the best of 3 now, except for the Bucks and Celtics, in which the Bucks lead 3-1. You know, I gotta give the Greek Freak his props. He's grown up in these playoffs. He's been very big. And also, not just him, but the role players have stepped up, like Chris Middleton, you know, Lopez. Also, George Hill has contributed off the bench. Yes, indeed. You know, come on, join me in the chat so we can talk about these playoffs. Also, the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets, they're tied at 2-2 right now after last night's thrilling victory in Game 4. James Harden and Kevin Durant, they've both been balling out of control in this series. You know, they've been going neck and neck. Well, you can expect that with those two since they were former teammates and friends. But Steph has been up and down in these playoffs. He's 8 of 32 from three-point range. Clay has definitely been off in this series. You know, he's been hit or miss. Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green, they played pretty well in this series. But the Rockets supporting cast has outplayed the Warriors supporting cast in these first 4 games. You know, PJ Tucker, he's been big. The last 2 games, he averaged a double-double. Also, Eric Gordon contributed 20-plus points in both victories. Also, Clint Capella, he's been a monster underneath in the paint on the boards. And the Warriors, and also the bench has been pretty solid. Amon Shumpert, former Cavalier, he's hit some crucial threes. People also forget in 2016 in the NBA Finals, he had a big 4-point play in Game 7. Austin Rivers, he's been balling. The Warriors bench has been terrible throughout the series. You know, what used to be a strength of the Warriors is now a huge liability. You know, that bench used to either extend the lead or they can give them a lead while Steph and Clay and Draymond were on the bench. But now they're playing their starting 5 heavy minutes. KD had played, 45 minutes last night? You know, Steph has played 40-plus minutes. So has Clay, Draymond. Now they're relying on their starting 5 to win them games because they know that their bench can't do it anymore. I mean, Sean Livingston, he's getting older. Andre Iguodala, yeah, like I just mentioned, he's had a pretty good series so far, but he's getting older. And Looney definitely hasn't given them anything off the bench. So I know a lot of people think, well, the Warriors have control of the series because they have home court, but they can't rely on home court because they've lost some big games at Oracle during the regular season. Hell, they lost 2 games to the Clippers in the first round. And, you know, they lost Game 2 and Game 5 at home. So, people keep on saying, well, the Warriors got control of this series because they have home court. All they got to do is just protect home. But the Rockets' confidence is up now. So, they got some momentum heading into Oracle Arena because, in my humble opinion, they should have won game one. They got robbed in that game. They should have won game one. If they would have won game one, they could have either swept the Warriors or this would be a 3-1 lead for the Rockets right now. Okay, now, so everybody's saying, well, the Warriors still got this. They still got this. Clay ain't gonna be cold forever, but Clay's been cold this whole playoffs. Okay. If he ain't got it going now here in this series, then I don't know what to tell you. But let's break down the rest of these playoff series. Starting with the Portland Trail Blazers and the Denver Nuggets. Man, this has been one hell of a series so far. Both teams have won on the road. Portland won game 2 on the road. Denver won game 4 Sunday night. Jokic, aka the Joker, man, this man is becoming a superstar in these playoffs. He's averaged a few triple doubles. He's hit big shots. He's made some key passes in late in games, especially in game 4 where he passed it to I want to say it was Jamal Murray for the and one late in the game. Speaking of Jamal Murray, he's another guy that has emerged into a superstar in these playoffs. He's hit some key buckets. He's been straight up fearless. Will Barton, he's a pretty good player off the bench. So I'm happy for the Denver Nuggets for doing anything after having a few down years. But also, Portland has been balling pretty well. Dame has balled well. CJ McCollum. Their big man off the bench, I forget his name, slips me right now. If any one of y'all can tell me what this big man's name for the Trailblazers is, I would greatly appreciate it. But he's definitely had some big games in the playoffs so far. So now they head back to Denver tied 2-2. This could be anybody's series. Portland can go into Denver and win game 5, or Denver could hold serve and win game 5 at home. You never know. These teams, in a way, are evenly matched to me. They are definitely evenly matched. They can defend pretty well. They also can score pretty well. So this series is definitely a toss-up. But in my humble opinion, 9 times out of 10, whoever wins this game 5 tomorrow night is going to win the series either in 6 or 7. That's my prediction. Now, if you agree or disagree, just put it in the comment section below. Okay, now got to break down another series. Let's head this over to the East with the Toronto Raptors, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Philly, they had a couple of great games in game 2 and game 3 where Joel Embiid just went off in game 3. Especially having that highlight windmill dunk, But also Jimmy Butler, he's had some pretty good games ever since he had that game 1 clunker as well. But Ben Simmons has been pretty non-existent in this series. He hasn't gone off. I think that's the main reason why that this series is 2-2, because Ben Simmons has not really put his stamp on this series. Yeah. The man can pass out of this world, but he needs to be more aggressive as far as scoring. That's why I think they lost game 4, because Joel Embiid was sick in game 4, and Ben Simmons was practically a no-show on the offensive end. Like I said, yeah, he had some great passes, but this man didn't really score for nothing. He has to pick up. He was supposed to pick up the slack for Embiid, who was sick, but he didn't do it. JJ Redick, he showed up with 19 points. Tobias Harris, he did his thing as well. But where was Ben Simmons? Okay, TC, the Bucks will win the East. Okay, you making your prediction now. Okay, who you think comes out the West? But yeah, Ben Simmons has basically been on a freaking milk carton this whole series. They talk about where's Waldo, where's Ben Simmons? Can you please find him? But also to the Toronto Raptors, they made some great adjustments after losing those 2 games. Kawhi Leonard, that man has been clutch, especially game 4 when the Raptors were only leading by 1. He hit some big shots to put the Raptors up ahead for good, to tie this series, to send it back to Canada, to make it a best-of-3 series now. Okay, you still at Toronto. Okay, Houston, you think Houston has a good shot of coming out the West, huh? I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. But yeah, this playoffs has been fun. These last few playoffs, few years in the playoffs, it's basically been, who's going to win the championship as soon as the first round starts. This year, this playoffs has been more competitive. It's been more exciting. You've had a lot of close games. You've seen a lot of players, that you may have not paid attention to during the regular season become stars as well as superstars in the playoffs, like Jamal Murray, Jokic. You finally see Kawhi Leonard you finally seen that Kawhi Leonard can actually play up to his potential and step up on the big stage without, Hall of Fame players like Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. I got me sweating. Y'all gotta excuse me. Although Kyle Lowry, he's doing his he's in rare playoff form, playing the Invisible Man, but that's another discussion for another time. That's another person I need to get on. Where is Kyle Lowry? That man has been we need to file a missing person report for him. We haven't seen him in this series. Not at all. He's been so up and down in the playoffs. He was even up and down in the playoffs against the Orlando Magic. So we got to file another missing persons report. Him and Ben Simmons. We need to file a missing report for those two because we have not seen them. They've been on the court, but we haven't seen them. They haven't been there. Well, they're there, but they're not there. But yeah, I definitely want to touch on this Rockets and Warriors series. I was watching Undisputed this morning, and Skip Bayless said something that really jumped out to me. And I don't agree with Skip Bayless on a lot of things, but he really said something that jumped out to me. He said that Golden State doesn't have the chemistry and unity they once had. And you know what? I got to agree with Skip. The ball movement's not there anymore. They're playing more ISO ball now. Also, they don't have that unity, that camaraderie. You used to see the Warriors on the bench rooting for each other when somebody made a good defensive play or hit a hell of a shot, or laughing with each other on the bench. You haven't seen that this year with the Warriors. So this could be their last stand as we know it, because I definitely think KD is out the door after this season, no matter what the Warriors do in the playoffs. I think KD is gone. Now, where does he go? I don't know. He may go to the Knicks like a lot of people have been predicting, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Clippers, to be reunited with Jerry West, the same man that recruited him to come to the Warriors. So I could definitely see KD going to the Clippers. KTC 2019 playoffs has been more exciting this year. Good defense and more competitive. Totally agree. Definitely. We've seen a lot more competition. We're seeing a lot of star players be stars, and also we've seen some stars emerge as well. That's another good thing about these playoffs. You know what? Kenny the Jet Smith, as y'all know of, inside the NBA on TNT, said this quote during the conference finals a couple of years ago. He said, the regular season is where you make your name. The playoffs is where you make your fame. And that's totally true, because in the playoffs, star players, they take it up 10 levels, but also you may have guys that you never heard of, but then they have some big games in the playoffs that, go on to be known. Like Robert Horry. Robert Horry was a role player on the Rockets, the Lakers, the Spurs. He wasn't no all-star player. But that man hit some big shots in the playoffs, like the buzzer beater, when he played on the Lakers, he hit that buzzer beater against the Sacramento Kings in what was it, 2002? And also, this was my favorite shot from Robert Horry, and I think this was underrated. He hit the game winner in Game 5 of the 2005 NBA Finals against the Pistons in the Palace, so the Spurs can have a 3-2 lead in that series. Okay. Clay might be leaving too. Possibility. That's definitely a possibility, TC, but I don't know. I think they would want to keep the Splash Brothers together. If you think he's leaving, TC, where do you think he'll go? But yeah, the Warriors, they don't have that camaraderie anymore. 98, when the Bulls, won the championship, that whole season they used that as their rallying cry, because Bill came out and said, this is the last dance. Basically saying, hey, after this year, I'm gone. Michael, Scotty, all of them said that they were gone after the 98 season, no matter what happens. Even though they ended up winning the championship by knocking off Utah in 6 games, thanks to Michael Jordan's now iconic shot in Game 6. But they used that as their rallying cry. But the Warriors, it seemed like KD's impending free agency has them discombobulated. They feel like, okay, why am I playing this hard? KD on his way out the door anyway. So what's the point? So yeah, so if KD does leave after this season, this definitely could be the end of the Warriors as we know it. And they'll definitely have to retool that team back to the 2015 championship team, the 2016 team where they won 73 games. But it would be a little hard to do because you got Steph's $200 million contract. You got, if you give Clay a max contract, that's like a good 100, 200 something million. So I think Draymond may be the odd man out if he doesn't want to take a pay cut, because he came out saying going into this season that he wanted a max deal, and he's not a max player. And his mom needs to shut the hell up and realize that her son ain't a max player either. Yes, Draymond, he's a great rebounder. He's a really good defender. He's a defensive player of the year, and he can pass out of this world, but he's not a complete player. You don't, excuse me, you don't ask Draymond to go get his own offense. You can't give Draymond Green the ball and say, here, score me 20 points. You can't. And matter of fact, he's not a good shooter either. I mean, he could be wide open and still won't be able to hit. There could be, Nobody standing between him and San Jose. Draymond still can't shoot for worth a damn. So why, if I'm an owner and a GM, why would I offer Draymond $100-some million contract? So you tell me. But yeah, if the Warriors do get knocked out, this playoffs will be more exciting because now you'll see some fresh blood in the NBA Finals. Like, just purpose of conversation, you'll see a Bucks-Rockets NBA Finals. That would actually make a good NBA Finals. You have Harden and the Greek Freak going against each other. Two MVP candidates. I mean, it's been a battle for MVP all season long. Some people feel it's Giannis. Some people feel it's Harden once again. But to me, it's a tie. If I had a vote, I would love to vote for both of them as co-MVPs. But yeah, that would make an interesting NBA Finals. You have two teams that haven't won in a long time trying to break their drought. It's been almost 50 years for the Bucks. It's been, almost 25 years for the Rockets. And also, coaches who have been coaching for a long time never won a title, like Mike D'Antoni, Mike Budenholzer, who came from the Greg Popovich system. So yeah, you have some great storylines with the Bucks and the Rockets if they were to play in the NBA Finals. Also, CP3 trying to get his first ring. So that would make a great NBA Finals. Well, I'm not going to hold y'all any longer because I got some stuff to do. I'll be back next Tuesday at 8 o'clock with a new Facebook Live video. If you haven't already, like the Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to the channel. Till next time, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. QC out.